Gamers, I have come up with the best way to play Age of Sigmar's new game mode, Spearhead. If you haven't heard, Spearhead is Age of Sigmar's new game that's coming out in the next couple months. That is a smaller game mode where essentially you could buy a box right off the shelf, build it, paint it, and be ready to go on its own quicker, smaller game mode. Now, are you like me and curious about this new Age of Sigmar game mode, but are you also like me in where you already have 3 armies and might feel a little bit lost with this smaller scale edition? And what I mean by that is I already have a couple armies and I love playing the bigger scale games. So what would draw me to playing this smaller one with a new army when I could just play the real deal and play a full-size game? I've been seeing all my favorite Warhammer YouTubers giving glowing reviews to the new Spearhead mode from all the guys who have had early access games and that sort of thing, which made me very curious. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's turn the release of Spearhead into an event. Step 1. Get your local gaming group together and grab one of those websites like the Picker Wheel or one of those things with the whole spinny wheel. Step 2. Enter all 24 Spearhead boxes on the wheel. Now with that, some of the boxes are currently labeled as Vanguard boxes, they just haven't been switched over to Spearhead yet. But with the exception of the Stormcast and the Skaven that are coming in the new 4th edition box set, that also will include all of the Spearhead rules, they are going to be the same boxes as the Vanguard, so same thing there. Step 3, you give the wheel a spin. And step 4, everyone has 2 months to build and paint the box that they got on the wheel. And finally, with 5, at the end of this 2 months, you have a Spearhead tournament. The goal here is to have a good time with a new game mode that you might not normally play or be interested in, and hopefully with an army that you normally wouldn't buy or be interested in, but it could be a fun little side project going on. Which I'm really excited to have a weird little color scheme or something like that you wouldn't normally do, because if you're anything like me, when I get a new army, it's a lot of pressure to think of a whole army-wide color scheme, and when now it's just the contents of one box, you could go wild with it. Now for some optional secondary guidelines that I think will really add to the experience. First, you can't buy a box that you already have the army of, right? I already have Gloomspite and Skaven and Sons of Behemoth, so those boxes are off the list. Next, you're allowed to take 4 armies off the wheel completely, and then you spin the wheel twice and you take a choice from those 2. The goal here is to have some randomness and some fun, and we don't really want anyone to get stuck with an army that they just really don't like. Then the last rule, no repeats. We want a fun mix of gangs that your local group wouldn't normally play, right? Get everyone out of their comfort zone. And just in case the wheel spins Sons of Behemoth 3 times in a row, that might get a little weird. So what do you think? Are you going to be playing Spearhead? Are you up for the challenge of some wacky Spearhead roulette? And what army box are you secretly hoping the wheel lands on? I think this will be an awesome way for hobby veterans to get into this new game mode, but also give new players that might be a little indecisive a fun place to start. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be playing some Spearhead roulette. Are there any rules that you would change or add? Maybe we could get a hashtag going on Instagram to track everyone's progress and see what those wheels are landing on. My local group are going to be starting this with the release of 4th edition, which should be within the next month or 2. And you can come hang out with me while I paint my new Spearhead box over on Twitch at twitch.tv/drinkyourpaintwaterlive, where I stream 4 nights a week. I'm also going to put a link to my Discord in the description below, where we'll have a whole channel on there to see what the wheels are spinning on and post our progress and talk about the new armies and all that stuff once everyone gets those wheels going. Or you can tag me on Instagram and share all of your progress with me on there at drinkyour.paintwater. So with that, let's see those wheels spinning. I'll catch you guys in the next one.